joining on the webinar today. We're talking about MaxxBucks, and just so you know, during the webinar, I'm not monitoring the chat or the questions, so if you guys have any, just interrupt me and we'll talk about it in the webinar. So what I was going to do today was start out a little bit with showing you how the MaxxBucks program works, show you a little bit about the setup, and then I really wanted to open this up as a really interactive opportunity to find out, first of all, what you guys think about a customer loyalty rewards program, which MaxxBucks is, what you're doing in your shop currently, kind of as a rewards program and or a referral program, because I think that they kind of tie in together, and I'll explain that a little later, and some suggestions for the group. So let me start in a customer record. So if we just go into a customer search, put me in, and in a customer record, right down here, you see this feature. We have this checkbox. This is where you can turn on the MaxxBucks for a customer record if it's not already set up as your default to automatically have MaxxBucks turned on for all your customers. And I'll get to the setup part a little later. But here you can turn it on and off. And once it's on, it automatically is tracked anytime you write a repair order for this customer. We also have MaxxBucks available. So here is our balance. So I currently have $47.08 available. And we also have the ability just to click the edit button, and you guys can manually edit this as much as you want. And this is a little bit what I was talking about later. If you do a referral program, a suggestion would be every time you get a referral, you give a referral, you give somebody an extra 10 or 20 bucks in MaxxBucks. Again, we're going to talk about that a little later. So that's first how you can see what the customer has available. So now within an RO, so if I have an open RO and I want to pay it, let's say I've got a belt replaced and I'm going to pay this out. This screen comes up right away. It's in this part of your workflow. If you have MaxxBucks turned on, it says this is how many we have available. It says maximum that can be used for this invoice. So I have a maximum, I think it's 5% of the sale that I can apply, actually 5% of parts and 5% of labor, I think. We'll double check that in the setup. And this is how much I can apply. So amount that I want to apply. I can apply the whole thing, or I could say I want to apply only $3 of it, or $5 of the MaxxBucks. It's up to you. That you can edit. That way, if somebody doesn't want to use them all and save them for a later job, that's actually a good thing, because it gives them more incentive to leave the MaxxBucks on the table for bring them back the next time. So we'll click OK, and I'm going to pay. Let's say I pay with Discover, apply my payment. It says actually right here, you save $5, and this is prompting the service writer just to converse with the customer and say you save $5, and that actually is a MaxxBucks reward discount. Because again, let's clarify, MaxxBucks rewards come in the form of a discount for work performed. So I click Finish, and I have more prompts for a new appointment or a marketing letter. So now when I go back into my customer record, and I can see here, I actually used some, but you can see I actually earned a little bit too. I earned some MaxxBucks on that last job. So that's pretty much in your workflow how MaxxBucks can be used. So let's go ahead into setups, and we'll see where this is actually set up. So under setups, up in the menu bar, if we click on marketing, we have this MaxxBucks setup option here. So we just need to turn on the whole feature in the system by putting on the check mark. And we can call this whatever we want. We could call it shop rewards. Let's do that, for example. Now, this is a maximum MaxxBucks discount that a customer can accumulate. You decide in a dollar amount what is the maximum amount that they can accumulate. Now, keep in mind, no money is ever being physically tracked. It's not tracked anywhere on the general ledger. You guys always know my angle is the accounting. So financially, am I tracking any money for MaxxBucks? No. It's just the system is tracking points in the form of dollars that's used as a discount on the invoice. So a couple ways we can do this for earning it, MaxxBucks that can be earned, okay? We can base it on labor or base it on parts, and we can say if they pay by cash or check, you get 5%. And we can put in a maximum per RO. You could say maximum $25. You could say maximum $5. You could maximum 50, whatever it is. You got to be careful though. If you have an engine job, you could have a heck of a MaxxBucks in there. But shoot, if that makes sense to you, which it may, I want some feedback a little bit on what you guys think are realistic numbers, and I think we need to play around with this a bit. Now, I actually have my system set up to earn a little bit less in MaxxBucks if you use a credit card. I also am the type of person that would probably put a sign up that says, do you guys know how much it costs me to take American Express? It's 3%, 2.95%, no matter what. So, you might want to make this the same amount. You want to make it different and educate your customers a little bit that, just so you know, cash or check, so you earn a little bit more in MaxxBucks. It's up to you. And if they charge something, some people may say, look, if you're going to charge something, put something on account, let's say your shop doesn't charge a service charge or financial charge or late charge, you may say, for accounts receivable, I actually don't give MaxxBucks at all. And again, I'm talking on labor. And I actually had it set up to be matched the same on parts. You may decide that you want to make it on just one or the other. Let's just say you get to earn MaxxBucks based on parts only. So we could set that up pretty much any way we wanted. But let's say for accounts receivable, if you're going to charge it, I'm not going to give you MaxxBucks. So that's on the earning side of it. So let's talk a little bit how it's used. And right here it says this calculation will determine how much of the MaxxBucks are going to be applied to the RO. And the program will use these parameters to decide what can be used and apply it as discounts. Again, discounts on the parts first, and then apply the remainder as a labor discount. That's an interesting thing to find. I didn't realize that at first. What you do is you use the parts amount that you have available. Let's say you've earned a certain amount in parts, and then after you've hit your maximum in parts, then it grabs it from labor. And actually over here, it grabs it in labor and applies that amount in labor. So I have it set up that you do 5% of labor, 5% of parts, and maximum used is 50. See, I said that you can't earn quite as many, but you sure as could use a lot more if you wanted. Again, completely up to you guys. So let's go ahead and I'm going to say OK. I want to show you on an RO. Let's see if this is turned on for Sheila. Let's see, I can just click on her customer record here. Now she doesn't have it. See, I'm going to click on here. Remember, I just changed the name from MaxxBucks to Shop Rewards. Okay, and I just started her up. You guys might want to, I actually suggested this in the user manual, if somebody says, you want to sign up for our Shop Rewards program, say, great, we'll get you started and we'll put $10 in there for you to use right away, just for, incentive for them to sign up on the program, maybe read a handout on it, some literature. So now when I go to, guess I better put something on here, throw an oil change on here. That'll work. So now when I go to preview our repair order, so just a note here, I don't show any MaxxBucks payable yet. I haven't earned any, haven't used any. But after we pay this, I'm going to show it to you. So here I'm going to pay, and skip my mileage. And here again, I want to apply my, let's see, I haven't earned any MaxxBucks. That's right, because I just started this. Let's see if I save her. I'm going to try this out. I'm not sure. We're learning together. If I open this up, if I now have any MaxxBucks I can use. Not yet. Well, it says I can apply a payment. I can't. Let's see how we earn this. I guess we have to set her up before we have one. But I wanted to go back and look at her repair order because I want to see what it looks like. I think this was the repair order number. See what shows on their invoice. Okay, so I didn't earn any MaxxBucks on her. Let's see if I earned it, how it looks on my invoice, the one I just did up. So I'm going to search previous repair orders. I'm going to say date paid today. Oops. Let's look at my invoice. Okay, so here on my invoice, let's see if we can get down here in the right corner, Shop Rewards. And again, remember I changed it from MaxxBucks to Shop Rewards is the title of my program. Used for this invoice, I used $5. Earned for this invoice $3.58. So this is how much is available for future use. So this does print out on the invoice. Now Sheila, I didn't have any on hers yet, and the reason why is because I made a change to her customer record, turning on the MaxxBucks after I started her RO. So let's just double check something real quick. We'll just learn this together for fun. If I were to write a new, let's do an air filter for her. Let's see. Write a new ticket for her. Okay. Throw a kit on here. Whoops, wrong one. That looks good. Okay, so now with Sheila, let's pay this now. Let's see if this comes up. No. I know you guys would never go through and skip all this stuff. Okay, so amount available. Remember I started her out with 10. Maximum that can be used for this invoice, and amount that I want to apply. So just so you know, it looks like it'll let me apply an additional, look at maximum used according to my setup, but can I use more? Can I override this? Let's check it out. No, it won't. So you cannot apply more shop rewards than the maximum amount. So here, even if you want to try to override it, you can't. We'd have to change that in the setup. So let's just leave it at 95. So something we learned together, that you can't actually override that. Good to know. So what's kind of cool about the MaxxBucks program, since you are, you're integrating this into the workflow for writing repair orders, what about the marketing end of it, which I'm all about the marketing these days. It's really where we have to go in order to be competitive. So now I can go into marketing, and I can go into, let's see what letters are due. I wonder if I have any that are due that have MaxxBucks in it. Actually, let's look at one. Edit our letters and postcards. Let me see if I have any in here with MaxxBucks. If not, we're going to create one. Okay, so I don't see anything here with MaxxBucks. I wonder if my thank you one has it with MaxxBucks. Yes, it does. So here's our preview letter. You can see that you can integrate into your marketing letters this MaxxBucks balance. So you might even want to put together a postcard program that says, thank you for joining. That would be a great letter. We could create a new letter that says, thank you for signing up for the MaxxBucks program. You have earned, or we've started you out. We might want to put in, $20, $15, whatever, worth of MaxxBucks for signing up. And you could have a specially tailored postcard just for this. So that way you kind of get people in the habit of knowing, well, shoot, I have an amount that I could use down there. I was chatting with Derek earlier at Lutz's Automotive a little bit before the webinar started, and we were talking a little bit about these rewards programs and kind of thinking about how are they used in your own life, and why do they work, and why do we think they work. And I was sharing a little bit with Derek that I have a rather large dog who eats a ton of food, so I use Petco and PetSmart out here in California. For example, the Petco is very close to my house, but it's like 20% more expensive than PetSmart. Now, I am signed up on their rewards program. So every time I buy something, just like we do with MaxxBucks, I earn points. For every bag of dog food, every can of dog food I buy, I earn points. So I look at it this way. When I was taking care of a shop, I drove across the bay, and I took care of a shop over in Oakland last week. Well, on my way home, now I did stop in at a PetSmart, who I know is cheaper, carries the same brand, and I did stop in and spent like $85 on dog food there, and plus it was on sale, so it was a killer deal. It was a good deal for me. But conversely, because I'm signed up with Petco in their rewards program, I have a $10 coupon if I spend $10 at Petco. Now, am I going to use that coupon in the next 2 to 4 weeks? Absolutely. But am I going to go into Petco and only spend $10 because I only have a coupon for $10? Probably not. I'm probably going to buy my next 30 to 60 days worth of dog food. So I'm going to spend $150 on dog food, and it's a big dog. at that store. So we kind of were talking about how we think a rewards program like MaxxBucks would be used in a shop. You know, it's the kind of thing, if you were to have a MaxxBucks balance at your shop, let's say for $12, and you see a coupon come in the mail to go to, you know, a Jiffy Lube or whatever for a $24.95 oil change, but I know if I go to this shop that I have MaxxBucks, you know, they're $34.95 for an oil change, but I know they do a really good job. So am I more likely to pass on that $24.95 at Jiffy Lube if I know that I have money waiting for me that I can use at my regular shop? So for me, I think it is a very powerful incentive to keep them coming back to your shop. And I probably have to double check what I wrote on the website, but I did some research that, you know, an amazing amount, it's 95%, something like that, of consumers carry some form of loyalty rewards program. So I want to kind of open this up. We kind of went over some of the nuts and bolts of how MaxxBucks works, or the rewards program works, and I wanted to really open this up and first of all get your guys' feedback on what you think about the program, number one. Number two, I also want to get your feedback on some of those numbers. Would it be 5%? Would you make it different between somebody paying with cash or check versus a credit card versus charge? So always looking for some feedback, again, so other shops can benefit from your knowledge, your experience. We certainly want to be able to trade that with you all. We want to always be able to share information for our best practices. So anyone want to comment on this, share a little bit on some of your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Oh,
okay.
Dave, just so you know, Dave, I just opened you up. Nick, you're on. Tony and Bill, thanks for joining a little late. But everybody right now is unmuted. So please go ahead.
We do 5% for cash and checks, 2.5 for credit cards, and then 5% for on account.
Okay.
And that's basically what we're doing now. We kind of tailor this and have only actually offered this to our commercial customers. We haven't done this on a retail level.
Oh. Okay. So tell me, first of all, tell me why, and what's kind of your thought process behind that. Really, really appreciate the feedback.
You know, I'm his commercial outside salesman. Mike is actually the owner, and that's, bottom line, that's just what he wanted to do. It was our way of dangling the carrot in front of our commercial accounts to get their business.
Okay, good idea. So if you have 5% cash and checks, is that parts and labor?
Yeah, at this point it is.
Okay. And do you have like a cap amount that they can ever accumulate? You know that? Remember what the accumulation? In fact, let's look under steps really quick. Marketing, MaxxBucks. So when we select in here, we want to say maximum amount that they can accumulate per RO. What do we have and what do you guys use there?
I think he's got it set up for about $100.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure what he has that set up for.
Okay. And
but
how
I know
about
it's over 25?
Right. You know, and I probably would do over 25 as well. Shoot, if they're going to spend that much money, let's let them earn the money. And as far as how much they can use, how do you guys have that set up as far as what percentage, or, you know, how do you dole it back out again, and how much can they use per RO?
I don't think we have a maximum amount in that particular box there. It's just whatever they earn because, again, remember, we're doing this on a commercial level, not on a retail. So I tell my people, you know, you can use these quarterly, semi-annually, annually. You know, we don't tell them that they can use it off their very next invoice. We would. It's not that we wouldn't let them do that, but we just, I've always said quarterly basis or semi-annual or what have you.
Okay. Good to know. I'm not positive about this, but just a possibility. I'm afraid that if you left this at 0, it probably wouldn't let you use any at all. I'm not positive about that, but just I bet you have some number. Yeah, I'm sure you had to put. You probably even put maximum amount. You use $500 worth of MaxxBucks in here. If you guys really are going to let them use pretty much how much they have, feel free. You probably had to put something in here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So any other? Yeah. Now that's very interesting. It's interesting. So do you do any kind of marketing, or do you let people, I mean, it's a commercial account, do they just send checks in, or do you give them a statement that says you use this much in MaxxBucks, or do you market and say, guys, you've accumulated this much? How do you communicate their balance?
Well, in all honesty, I mean, we have this program, and we just kind of got it up and running, and I've been talking about it on the street. Frankly, the commercial accounts I've gotten right now, we haven't even put them on the Max. We call it MaxxBucks, matter of fact. We haven't even put them on the MaxxBucks. We've been just giving them a straight discount off their parts and nothing on labor. So we haven't really even worked this program like it should be working.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm such a big fan of this. If anybody's in training with me, they know how I am about this whole thing. If you give them a discount, tell them about it, get mileage out of it. You know, I would even say maybe even handwrite on their statement, or, you know, you guys earned this money and we applied what you earned with us. Just, you know, sort of that positive reinforcement type of thing that I'm always looking to get. You know, I do appreciate, Mike, I really appreciate your feedback on that and your numbers. You know, I know Calvin also said he's using this program. I know Calvin was dialed or is on speakers and a mic. Calvin, are you with us on the call? Because I was hoping to get Calvin's input a little bit about how he's using it. You know, I also, the reason why I kind of tie this into a referral program is I know a couple of you guys were on last week's call about marketing, because this essentially, it's all, MaxxBucks is just a merchandising product. It's all about marketing, customer acquisition, and customer retention. We talked a little bit about referral benefits. Well, if somebody refers somebody, a shop that I used to work at, and they were all about marketing, and I have to say it really did work. It got a lot of people in the door. Is we used to send out Starbucks cards, and I'm pretty sure they were $10 a card every time somebody referred somebody. And then if they got the top, the people that referred the most amount of people in a year won a trip, and it was like a cruise to Mexico or something. It was, I don't know, $600-800. It really wasn't that expensive, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I think they did it in a bit of a trade with some sign in our waiting room that said, this travel agency is sponsoring part of this trip, is how that whole deal worked. But it really made me think about, how we could tie any referral program, since we can we can go into that customer record. We can go right in there and we could manually change this. You know, I can go ahead and just put as much as I want in here. I can edit it as much as I want. So if somebody refers somebody, there you go. You get another, you know, $20 in MaxxBucks. So since we can manually do that, now we don't have any really brilliant way to track that individually, which I think would be still kind of cool. We may, you know, come up with that if you guys give us any kind of suggestions. But I think that's where we kind of talk a little bit. How can we maximize the referral part of our business and still reward them using this rewards program? I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. So a couple ideas there. Any other thoughts in the room on how you might want to use this? You guys buying in on this? I mean, we have a lot of folks on the call that said that they, let's see what I say, 40% use a referral program, and I bet you about 100% of the people on this call do some form of marketing. What's some of your feedback on this rewards program?
Hi, this is Rod, and actually, can you hear me okay?
Sure can. Thanks, Rod.
Okay. What I do, we've been using this since the program came out, and our customers absolutely love it. What I do is on a marketing letter, we added a letter for referral. And what we reward our customers with is $25 in, well, we call them MaxxBucks, so $25, and we just manually put it on their account from the person that's referring. And then we send an email or a postcard to the person that had referred that person to us, and we also give them $25 in MaxxBucks. And that's how we keep track of it. So as a customer comes in, I just go under the customer's name, and or as a new customer, I should say, comes in, we go under the customer's name, and I just add that on their account as a postcard to be printed for them.
Excellent.
And
well,
that works really well.
Cool, cool. Well, you know, that's a great suggestion. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit when we come out with the July-August newsletter. I appreciate your feedback on that, Rod. And, you know, we're always, again, looking for best practices, and those are some good numbers. I think $25 for a referral is a deal. Is, you know, especially once you get that customer, it's cost of acquisition. If you think of the lifetime of that customer, $25 is a deal. Which is also why that one lady that we spent all that money on that trip, you know, I kind of thought, what's my ROI? What's my return on investment for, you know, these $10 Starbucks cards and paying out $800 at the end of the year for a trip? That lady, I mean, I should go back and try to find my records. She brought in so many customers, and it wasn't just her new customers that she brought in. If each one of those new customers, because obviously they believed they came in based on referral, let's say they all just referred one more person that came in. That's where I really think we can get a domino effect of combining a referral program by using this rewards program. So it's perfect. I'm so glad you have a great example, Rod, of how that works. That's exactly how, if I was lucky enough to have this program when I was working in the shop, we had MaxxTraxx, but we didn't have a MaxxBucks yet. That's exactly how we'd use it. Anybody else? Any other thoughts on how you guys might want to use this?
I was just going to say another thing that we do is we send a reminder, like if a customer has paid their bill and we know how many MaxxBucks, anything over $20, we send out a reminder in like 30 days. I set it up as a reminder letter so that they get that reminded, you know, whether they had recommended services. We used to discount when they come in, you know, give like 10 or 20% off the labor, but since we've started this program, we don't do any discounts at all other than the actual MaxxBucks. And we're pretty aggressive on our RODS dollars that we give out, and we have high limits on it because we want to see our customers back, and we figured somewhere down the road if we need to adjust them, we can do that. But right now, you know, like our maximum discounts that we use, we have it right now set at 200. If they pay by cash, we have a high percent, cash or checks being 10%, a maximum of 200. Credit cards we do have is 5% because, like you said, the fees on that is, you know, is high.
Yeah.
And then on the labor, we just have 5% straight across the board, maximum of 200. I figure, you know, the more they spend, the more they should be rewarded because they're the ones that are, you know, either loyal customers or they're doing high-ticket items. And then on the bottom part, on the labor sale and the parts sale, we just give 100%. We give it all back on the next time. If they want to save it, I also ask them. That way we can say if they have $80 come in the MaxxBucks, if they only want to use 50 of them, then we can change it easier without getting that warning that says, oh, you can't, you know, use that many bucks or whatever. So that's
good
kind of
point. Okay. Oh, so when you so when people say I want to use my MaxxBucks, do you tell them how much? Okay, this is how much you have banked, and since you get to decide what the maximum amount is they're going to use because you just manually enter it in, do you offer up a portion of it, or do you actually offer them the opportunity to use the whole shoot and match?
We use the whole
balance
thing every single time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You know, someone else started to have a comment at the same time. You were starting to say something, Rod. Who was that?
Yes, Sabrina.
That was me.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'm glad there's actually so many people that want to talk. Go ahead. Was that Bridget?
Yes.
Or Christy.
Can I get off the speakerphone, or can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Okay. Can you just clear something up for me?
Yes.
I understand the percentage and the maximum amount, but earlier you put $10 in one customer's thing.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Do you remember?
Yeah. Let's say, because I said, remember, Sheila just signed up for the program. And this is just kind of a suggestion I was kind of coming up with. I think in order to, make people aware of it. If you just say, oh, I just signed you up for the rewards program, they're like, yeah, big deal. So the next time I have to come in one more time to get rewards. So this is where if someone comes in and let's say you didn't already have something set up, or just say, Sheila, I actually now have your account set up for our rewards program. So on this repair order, you actually earned, and in the future, if I had set it up when I first started her repair order, it'll print out how much she earned on that RO. You might want to, grab a yellow highlighter. I'm a big old yellow highlighter person when I'm cashing out people all the time, and highlight this is how much you earned. Or you, like I said, you can click on this edit button, and I could put in 100. I'm feeling sassy, and I'm going to go ahead and give her 100 MaxxBucks. So you can pretty much edit this at any time, do whatever you want with this. So
okay, but the program with the percentages, that you do that to set up the system.
You do that to set up the system as to how much they earn per RO. Pretty much in here I can go crazy if I want. I can put as much as I want. But under setups, that's great questions, by the way. Let me move this stuff. Under setups, we have the ability here to say maximum that we can, and again, this is the earned part, earned per repair order. We can say they can only, well, for some of these guys, they're saying, well, you can earn as much as you want. You could earn at 5%. So what does that come out to? 5% to $100 was a $2,000 ticket. I can earn $100 on a $2,000 ticket. So you can set in how much they can earn maximum. You could also say, you can use as much as you guys accumulate. Well, obviously, if you can only, well, this is actually used per repair order. So this is earned per repair order, but we could say, up here, this is the total amount they can ever accumulate. So if we have a maximum of 500, we probably should have a maximum of 500 that they can accumulate. Because Rod was just talking about, look, if they accumulate it, we're going to give it to them. They want to bring us enough business to use all of their MaxxBucks. If they bring us 10 grand, you're going to get $500 in MaxxBucks. What now that you say it, if somebody bought you $10,000 worth of business, the cost of business, hopefully it's not all just on an engine because your profit margins are so much smaller, but 5% reward is not that unrealistic on parts. And say they can use it all, then you can decide how much you can use. And again, remember we have discretion here. This is kind of where I was poking a little bit at Rod to find out, would you ever say that, yeah, you can accumulate a maximum, but you might still know in your gut that you can offer them, yeah, you can use up to $100 of your MaxxBucks on this bill. Do you want to use it? You got to be careful with consistency, though. That's why sometimes you want the system to dictate exactly what your company policy is, but you can play around with it a little bit. So that's a little bit about those caps and those maximums. Did that answer your question, Bridget?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Thank you.
Sure. And we had another comment in there. Who was that? Who was talking?
Yeah, it's Dave from Jimmy's.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
One thing that we do with our referral program and the MaxxBucks and all that, we've got a couple of programs that we've sort of combined. But we pass out referral cards, and they've got the customer's name on them that we gave them to. And we got sort of a graduated program where the first referral they'll get $10, second one is $15, third one is $25, the fourth through the seventh will be $50, and when an eighth one comes in, we'll tag another $100 on top of that. And so they could earn up to $400 just in referrals, let alone what they're spending with me. And
right.
Considering the cost of getting a customer in, if I'm paying an average of $50 a piece to get them in the door, that's dirt cheap.
Right.
So and customers that come in that they've got a big bill coming up, it's sort of an added incentive for them to push a little harder because they know what they can get. And,
that's a great idea.
We've got it where maximum amount the customer can accumulate. Basically, that's unlimited as far as what they're able to spend at any one time. I've got that capped off at a total of 500, so 250 labor, 250 parts.
Gotcha.
So, and at that point, only 50% of whatever it is. So at least I'm not giving everything away, but I've got enough coming in to at least pay for what the job was. But basically, just giving away the profit side of it. So at least I've got some cash flow still going.
Sure. Now, is this like per year, Dave? Do you reset it at the end of the year, or is this just like, look, if you keep referring people, ongoing?
It accumulates. It just accumulates. So,
gotcha.
So it works out. The customers are really excited about it, and we just keep track of it from there.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and tell me, how do you have a single customer? What would you say is your best referring customer? How many have they referred?
I really couldn't tell you because I'm not up front a whole lot with that.
Right.
But I'd have to go back and look. But I think some of the customer notes is where we're keeping tabs as far as each time a new customer comes in, so that we know what level that they're at. The other part of the program that we use in conjunction with this, it does it automatically. So we're just trying to use the two systems together, and they send out emails, talking about this is how many you have and stuff like that. So it's just integrating a couple of things to just come up with a really good program out there.
Right. I'm just going to show real quick in customer notes. I wish I could just give you control of my computer and you can point us where you're going. But just in the notes section, you're just using up in here, referrals.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just put down, referral 1, referral 2, wherever they're at.
Okay. So have you paid out the $100 for somebody referring person number 8?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I want to say the majority of what we've rewarded back has just been from what people have spent in the past.
Right.
Some customers, when they got a big bill, they may have $40, $50 there, and they'll just say, "Go ahead and use it all." Others will say, "Just let it accumulate." So,
right.
So
people do pass up on it. They do say, "Let it accumulate," huh?
Yeah. The majority of them do. If somebody comes in and they've got a $500, $600 ticket, a lot of times they're like, "Oh yeah, let me go ahead and use it." And other people just keep letting it accumulate as time goes on.
That's interesting. What other program are you guys using, Dave? What other marketing program?
Yeah, the other part that it's tied to is a customer referral program that I got through the marketing company I'm working with called Pit Crew. And the other parts of the rewards program is that also the customer, they actually get like a little credit card from us, looking item with our logo and info on it. And it also offers them emergency roadside service and extending the warranty nationwide for 12 months or 12,000 miles. So that's part of that program as well. So it's just a lot of value that we try building into, into what we have here, what we can offer, and make customers feel good about the money that they're investing here with us.
Right. That's I'm always impressed since I've known you for about 13 years now. I'm always impressed that you guys are one of the top names in the Tucson area. Absolutely, you're the go-to shop. And I think, this is where, some people will say if they don't do marketing, marketing is gimmicky. And it's like, no, it isn't, especially in this day and age. I think, when I first met you and we were talking about, I was out there in the field with my husband selling motor tracks, the DOS version, marketing was the last thing on people's mind. They didn't have time. In the DOS version, it, of course, didn't have nearly as many cool features like this, and we actually used it just as reminders because we managed a lot of fleets in our business. But I think, as people are saying on this call, that you just got to use a combination of different incentives to keep them coming back, because we talk about cost of acquisition. $50 per customer is not bad when you think about the lifetime of that customer.
Oh, exactly. And, with the marketing, it's just, I've always tried to be very proactive with it. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, I knew where the economy was going, so we ramped up our marketing. And last year we had a record-setting year, and this year we're ahead of last year.
Wow.
And, there's shops that are closing around us. It's just that
yes.
It's just a proactive, approach to it. And I know once things turn around, it's just, I'm going to be out there on top of it all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's the biggest thing, is just being proactive. The other is making sure that what you're spending is giving you a good return on your investment.
Right.
And sometimes it's trial and error. I tried Yellow Pages, quarter-page ad one time. I think I got 3 customers out of it after spending roughly $3,500 that year. Or no, it was higher than that, because it was about, six a month. So it was about $9,000 that year. So it just so that money goes somewhere else, and that are giving me a much better return. So it worked out nice.
Right. I actually, same shop that I worked in last that was really proactive into this marketing, they kind of made a deal with this shop that went out of business. And there's a long personal thing as to why they went out of business. But they had a full-page ad. It was the very first ad when you open up the Yellow Pages. And, again, that shop went out of business, but they forwarded the telephone number from that shop to our shop. And the ad ran for another 6 months. And you know what was interesting? Because we were, at the time, tracking our customer sources pretty accurately.
Yeah.
The people that responded from the Yellow Page ads, because I think there also was a discount on the Yellow Page ad that we honored from the previous shop, they came back in, they did the work, they never came back.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that the business, the new business, kept our car count up, which, we are an ATI shop, car count, and we did inspections on everything we did, and that's actually how we got a lot of return business. But it was funny that as we went back and analyzed, when we talked about the customer source that brought them in, what was the longevity? Which, we're talking some serious time investment to go back and track how effective your marketing is working. And I think that was very interesting, and I think that was just market specific. It was in Colorado Springs, very transient town because of military bases. But it'd be interesting for you guys to take all the different programs, marketing programs you're doing in your market, and try to go that extra step and measure, what's working, what isn't, and what's working over long term, not just, did I get my car count up for this month? What's giving you a customer that's going to bring you return business? Because we all know that oil changes are loss leaders. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And go ahead. What were you going to say on that one, Dave?
Oh, no, just going back a little bit to the Yellow Pages, a lot of people really aren't sure if the Yellow Pages are working or not, because some of them may be in, 2, 3, 4, 5 different books. And people say, I found you in the Yellow Pages. I know some shops that still find it very profitable to use Yellow Pages, is that they'll take let's say there's 4 books in the area, they'll cut out their ad or cut that page out, slip it into a plastic sleeve, and when customers come in, they'll ask them, which one ad did you look at?
Brilliant.
And then that way they can see, okay, this book's doing me well, this one's not getting me anything. You don't need to spend money in that one anymore. So this way you do have, because the accuracy of your customer referrals is just so important. It's like when I said no to the Yellow Page ad, that the gal brought her manager down, the district manager. And I had all my info, and I just blew him out of the water. There was nothing that he could say that disputed what the hard numbers were. So that's what what it comes down to, is that what your money's being spent on, what type of return you're getting, and whether it's worth that investment anymore or not.
Right. And anybody else on the call that kind of has some kind of marketing ROI information, anything that you find that's working, isn't working? Anybody want to comment on Yellow Pages? The other one is, how about online Yellow Pages? We did both. We definitely got a better response. Well, I don't want to say better response. Actually, less people came in from the online Yellow Pages, but they stayed longer, which is kind of that extra step. And again, because I'm kind of a spreadsheet kind of gal, I enjoy them so much. It was easy, and it was kind of an additional tracking thing that I did. And that's how we kind of went to the extra step to find out what was a long-term result of these marketing programs that we're doing. Anybody else use, anybody on the call use, Nick, I just unmuted you, by the way. Anybody else using online Yellow Pages?
Yeah, we do a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty heavy here.
Where's that? Where's here? What state?
Jimmy's here.
Oh, Dave. Okay.
It's been very, very good to us on that. I'm paying for the top spot on it. The company I'm with, they own about 12, 13 of the online yellowpage.coms. So anytime anybody looks for auto repair in any one of theirs, I'm at the top.
Okay.
I'm at the top. And I pay for the same thing with BBB, both local and national. Local, I'm in a rotation with 7 others, and national, I'm the only one. So,
interesting.
I do very little printed media anymore. Everything is going electronic, and over the last couple of years, we've just seen a huge explosion compared to what it was just 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
So it's, and just through trial and error, this is where I'm finding my best media to be at, and it's getting me the best returns.
Right.
Outside of the customer referral program.
See, I'm still a big believer on that. I still think the customer referral is the most lucrative. Well, as I talked about last week on our marketing webinar, that's how Scott System has gotten all their business pretty much for the last 9 years. It's been all referral business. Because what do we have? We're on Capterra.com, and I think we're on One Magazine. And, hopefully that'll change soon. But, that's, again, where I really go back to the cost. We talk about the cost of acquisition. How do we keep our prices low for our software? Because we depend so highly on referral business. So, again, remember I talked about if I give a discount, I want credit for it. I talk to people about that and make sure, you guys, we're doing this for a reason, and I'm giving you this discount. I want the credit for the discount. Same thing about the referrals. I tell people, because we don't have a 10,000-page Yellow Page ad, we depend on referrals. So I think it's really important to be confident in what you do and confident when you ask your customers. Really look for, if you could refer one person this year, you guys are making a big difference in us. That's a big difference to us, and it keeps our prices down. The less we have to spend in marketing, the more reasonable we can keep our rates, and the longer, we're going to be around for you to take care of you and your cars, your family's cars, your kids' cars, all that kind of thing. So I think that's a good input. I appreciate that, guys.
Hey, Sabrina, I have a question. Since we're talking about evaluating our marketing programs long term, is MaxxTraxx, are they working on a report that would allow us to look at marketing? Like right now we have the source coding, and we can see what our marketing is doing right now.
Right.
But we can't really go back through the system unless we do it manually, like you were talking about, and have a report come back and tell us, okay, this person initially came in, via whatever marketing source we tagged them as, and then they've been back and spent, $5,000 over the last 2 years since then.
Right.
Is there anything in the works for something like that?
It's very interesting you asked that. I had a very spirited conversation this morning with my husband, who sells well, until the end of this week, sells a competitive product. And we talked a little bit about his product and how the workflow tags customer source the first time that they are entered into the system. And then after that, you have an option to say, you know, did you come in based on a coupon, based on, we talked a little bit about this, based on a customer link or mechanic net postcard, based on a postcard I sent you about your MaxxBucks. So, you know, I think there is room there for us to maybe go an extra step, maybe even have two different sources, how they originally heard from us, and then what prompted this visit today. I don't know what you guys think about that. Useful, not useful?
That would be good, and maybe in addition to that, actually having customer information. You know, right now we can see a summary. You know, we can see the source code summary, but it would be great to have that, but then also have a separate report where if we wanted to really drill it down and get details where we can see the customer, see their information, we can see, you know, if that customer or a group of customers stop coming to us and there's a link to a certain type of marketing that we've been doing, maybe they come to us once or twice and stop. You know, information like that would help really dial in marketing a lot better, because I find, especially with mailers, I mean, we do a lot, we're heavy in internet, and we do a lot of direct mail postcards as well. And direct mail postcards, you know, you tag them the first time they come in, but then thereafter, you know, if you're breaking even on your advertising with direct mail, how do you really measure beyond that how it's doing, you know, without having that report where you can see the longevity of a customer in your database related to that initial marketing contact?
That is a great thought. Now, who are you using for new customer acquisition? I mean, are you buying like lists and doing postcards out to like a zip code?
No, we're using a company that sends out the postcards, so they do all the mailers like that for us. And
this is for people that are not your are they existing customers or new customers?
They can be either. Actually, it's not. We go over a demographic with them as far as household income and this kind of stuff. You know, whether we want to mail to just single-family homes or etc. Kind of a postal route type of thing instead of whether they've ever been to our company before, because they don't have our company data to know whether or not customers been here before. So we may be mailing to some existing clients, we may be mailing to new clients.
Okay. You know, that's very interesting. Kind of, there's a report in there, and I just wrote up some training videos on customer reports, and one of those reports talks about customer sales. So let me turn that down. Customer sales. So let's jet this again. Demo material, guys. So this, take this with a grain of salt. So I'm looking at my customer list. So close this screen. So we can see here my customers, how many times they've been in that time period, and let's see, I just ran it for, you know, since the first. My net sales. So what would be nice here is to see maybe original customer source, you know, what originally brought them to our shop, and then maybe even have, like, if there's 7, of course it's me for my test data, if this person has been in 7 times since the first of the year, each visit may have an individual customer source that brought them back. Maybe it was my MaxxBucks mailer. Yeah. So this is such an incredible forum, because you guys know how responsive that Scott Systems is to your suggestions. As always, I'll be sending probably later tonight, because I have to leave right after our webinar today, but I am going to send out the email late tonight. So if you guys want to reply back some suggestions of information that you're looking for. We now have a dedicated reports writer, and he's great because last week I had a prospect ask for a report. Simple. We pulled the guy off of his existing report, and then now he is working on this report. He'll have it done by Friday. So it's the type of thing that we have a dedicated report writer, programmer, that if you guys are asking for a report, you just need to let us know what it would look like. More importantly, frankly, how you would want to use it, because we may have some ideas we want to throw in there too. What are you trying to accomplish? So if you could respond to my follow-up email after the webinar, I think this is a great idea to find out not just how did they hear from us originally, what keeps them coming back, especially to see is your rewards program, what we call MaxxBucks Program, really making a difference. Unless, of course, you want to spend 2-3 hours a week on a spreadsheet like I used to do to get the same information. Of course, we're always trying to make this more user-friendly. More information you guys have provides more incentive for you to do more marketing, and we all know it's just an essential part of what we're doing. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard, but this next update is coming out here in May sometime. Is going to have a lot of reports and different features like that. Just a side note, but we're really focusing at our summer-fall update is going to be marketing. We're going to be changing the word processor. We're going to be putting in a lot more marketing-focused reports. We're going to have the emailing feature. Yay! To be able to, do these mass mailers and send it out emails or send out text messaging. So as I mentioned, that's in addition to our regular programmers, we also have this report programmer. So anything marketing related, we're really doing a push on that because it's pretty competitive times. But as Dave said, it's when you take the extra time now in a tough market and you go the extra mile and do that marketing, that when it does turn, man, oh man, are you guys going to be getting returns in spades. So I think that's, a very, very valid point. In the tough call is, do you have the money? If things are kind of slow, do you have the money to spend in marketing? Well, I'm a big believer, and I luckily had 4 years under my belt working at a .com during that wonderful little .com era. Guerrilla marketing is where it's at. So all this marketing doesn't have to cost a fortune. It doesn't have to be in the form of a $10,000 yellow page ad a year, which, some of the traditional marketing methods, that's what they were doing. But this MaxxBucks program doesn't cost you a thing. And to be able to integrate it into some of your postcard programs, some of your other, some who mentioned on the call about recommended services tied to MaxxBucks. I've read and I've heard of different statistics, and hopefully I'll have more for you guys I can put in the newsletter this summer, that our August newsletter, that I was hearing that direct mail was rendering, 1%, 2% return. But I heard direct mail to email was a lot more effective. Conversely, I heard that oil change reminders were very effective versus recommended services like, last time you were in, we said, we needed to do a cooling system flush and a belt, whatever. I was getting a lot of statistics reading that said those weren't as effective. Well, you throw a MaxxBucks promotion onto a recommended service, like, you are, scheduled for a brake job in 3 months, and by the way, you have $38 in MaxxBucks, so you can apply to that job. I mean, you talk about being able to really leverage these co-marketing programs. This is something that if you guys give us feedback as to how you might want to integrate these into the recommended services, integrating the rewards program, how can we play those together? We talk a little bit about in the marketing this ability to put in these mail merging. What other mail merge information other than MaxxBucks and recommendations, how can we tie this together? So we're going to be talking a little bit more about this summer. We're going to go ahead and wrap up today's webinar, but I want to thank everyone for so much input today. Please do respond to that email with some suggestions. And we also are checking to see if people want to start putting some sample marketing letters, maybe sample postcards and eventually sample emails up on our website. Maybe make it only for people that are registered in our forum. So you have to be a member of Scott Systems Forum, which of course is free. But we might be able to start sharing maybe a members-only web page on our website that's going to provide you more suggestions on, what are some of the discount programs people are using? What kind of rewards programs do they use? What are some of their sample marketing letters that you guys might be able to share? And it's really just a common place for us to be exchanging best practices. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. I think we talked a little bit about that on last week's follow-up email if people want to participate in that kind of program. So let me know your thoughts on that. Any more questions before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I have one.
No.
Yeah, two more. Yeah.
That letter that you just showed on the screen where it
yes.
said somebody had $42 worth of MaxxBucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it this one?
Right
No.
here.
Is it this one?
No, I don't think
so. Oh, not this one. Let me grab it. I think it's, this one. Edit, and we'll hit the, here we go.
Yeah. I think that's really a good idea, especially for the retail end of it, because, of course, we do the postcards, and we might do an alignment special or something like that to get people in the door. I really like this, but my question is, does because I see it's on like a word processor, does the computer, are we going to have to manually enter, we have thousands and thousands of customers. Would we have to manually enter that you've earned $35 in MaxxBucks, and you're due for an oil change? How does that all work? How's the system? It's not going to automatically generate a letter for Joe Smith that the computer will automatically know that he has $35 worth of MaxxBucks. We're going to have to manually figure it out, correct?
You would have to manually go, and if I'm understanding your question correctly, let's go into this customer, grab one. So this customer right now is not, he does have one. Let me grab another one. Let's see this guy, maybe. See, he's not set up. So yes, would you have to manually go in here and say, okay, I'm going to get you started with $10? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was hoping that this computer would be able to generate a letter to Joe Smith and then John Smith and so forth and so forth and so forth of how many MaxxBucks that they have earned to date.
Oh, sure. So let's go ahead.
Or are we going to have to manually go, if we want to send out 500 postcards, I'm going to have to go in and enter 500 people to figure out how much they have in their little storage bank.
So maybe, what about this? And again, this is brainstorming, so we can always improve the program, guys. If we go into marketing, we're doing a mass marketing letters and postcards. We're going to use this MaxxBucks letter, which is integrated, obviously, into my thanks letter. So that's what we're going to use. So maybe we need to have another radio button here that says customer has available MaxxBucks.
Right, exactly.
What do you think?
That's exactly where I was going with it.
Yeah, these guys love me because I'm always, I got another feature, guys. I got to put it in. They're like, oh, gosh, add it to the list.
Well, just think about it. When you do a mass mailing, my God, you know how much work on our end that would be to go, through 500, pulling up 500 people.
Yeah.
And then manually entering it in the bulk of the letter.
I think it's a brilliant idea. And you know what? I don't think it's going to be a whole heck of a lot. And again, the focus of this update coming out, the summer-fall update is going to be marketing. So I think that is a very viable option to put this in here so we can, instead of searching based on reason for service or whatever, customer marketing tag, for example. Instead of looking for customer marketing tag, we just need to look for MaxxBucks, and they have to have a balance. You might even, they're going to love this one, maybe there's even a minimum balance. We have to do a MaxxBucks. They have to have a minimum balance of, let's say, $30, $50 or whatever. We might even be able to do a different marketing letter or postcard or email or text message based on the amount that they have in that account.
Right.
That's great. What I'm...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say what I'm doing right now is I just tag each repair order as it's paid out if I know they're going to have more than whatever $20 worth in MaxxBucks. If it's just $1 or a few dollars, I don't worry about tagging it, and then I just automatically set it for like 30 days, and then it'll automatically send print it out for me in 30 days. That's what I'm doing.
Good idea. So we're in here. Oh, let's grab one that's got a little content on it, shall we? Let's see, we got something on this one. So when we're cashing this guy out, let's double check he's turned on the program. Yes, he is. Good. So we would just, in our workflow, pay this guy, change my mileage. Okay, good to go. He's $50 or 50 cents, big spender. Cash. So I have here in my workflow, that's asking for my new appointment. We'll skip that one for now. But here I could add a letter or postcard right now and say yes.
Exactly.
Click the one that has.
That's what I do.
Yep, gotcha, and say 30 days. Excellent. Now this is, you guys all know, I think I've told you this before, in that shop we worked at, if you didn't assign a follow-up letter at the end of the day, you had to pay $1 in the fishbowl. We made sure these service providers did letters, and we had good parties at the end of every month. But this is a big deal. Now we have this in the workflow. We didn't used to have that, but that's a great idea. But I think in addition, I love that mass mailing idea to be able to pull customers that are in the rewards program. So I'm definitely going to mention that. Please do respond to my email because, they kind of listen to things I say. They get an email from you guys. They're like, oh, okay, got to put that feature in tomorrow. So please do respond to the email if you want to put in a little more details about specifically what you're asking for. In this case, we're going to say, and I'll write it this way when I do my feature request, it's the ability to tag an additional radio button that searches by MaxxBucks. So I'll write that up, but like I said, if it comes from you guys. Did I have one more question? I really, really appreciate you guys participating and hanging in here a little longer. Did we have any more questions before we close today? Keep in mind, you guys can always call me, email me. If you want to have anything offline that you want to talk about. I'm pretty much staying out of support these days because I'm working on these, the webinars and also doing the training videos. But you guys have my email and my extension when I send out the follow-up emails after the webinar. Please do call me. And as always, I want to thank everybody for participating today. I think this is a really good one. Appreciate your input. We've got some great ideas, and I think we'll talk a little bit about this on the newsletter, and I may be kind of tapping some of you guys for some suggestions on, these case studies, marketing case studies are really important, and I think they give people good examples, not only examples, but confidence to be able to implement some new marketing programs, because they cost money, but more importantly, they cost time, which to me sometimes is more important than money. But I think these best practices will really help us turn the corner in this wonderful economy that we're in. So thanks again for coming, everybody. Well, and next week, go ahead. Any more questions? Next week we have sublet. I think we're going over sublets on next week's webinar, so look forward to talking to you guys next week. So have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.